Welcome. Special edition of the running journey. I'm Rob. Today it's not my brother Charlie, but it's my cousin, Joel Minigrains Grenier, who's joining me live from a very special edition of the running journey. We are here in Perth, Andover, New Brunswick. Finished leg 6 today, so I'm 3 days into my cross province run. Today, I'm going to tell you the story because this guy had quite the day. You might remember Minigrains from some of videos. He was in Boston.
I believe I was in Boston. Yeah.
Came to Boston, and also in the background is my father Claude, who's just giggling there. He's so pumped to be here. He's listening to an episode.
Chaperone.
He was a chaperone in Boston too. This has been pretty cool, Joe. It's been pretty fun to run with you today. Joe, first off, why did you come here? Why did you come on this run? Why would you fly across? Joel lives in Manitoba. It was a 14-hour travel day for him to get here.
Short day.
Super short day. And the good thing is the flights at the last minute are super cheap.
No, they only got cheaper as the longer I waited. So no, and I told you right from the get-go, Rob, I didn't think I could make it. Busy time for us in Manitoba, but I farm out there, too wet. So last minute, opportunity arose and I could make it. So
thank God it rained in Manitoba.
Some people are saying thank God, so others are swearing.
Yeah.
So that's how she goes. No, but you got on this journey a long time ago, Rob.
We have a sitcom laugh track.
The sign is flashing.
Yeah.
I see the
Laugh.
Yeah. No, you started on this journey a year ago. I ran with you at that one. Tough half marathon that time, but the second you announced it, wanted to be here.
The punchline, guys, is Joe didn't train for this. Well, we'll talk about his training.
He's supposed to train
but
for
he ran a marathon today. He ran 2 half marathons back to back today, this morning, in New Brunswick here after someone canceled at the last minute. So we'll get to that. But let's start about last year. So last year you did run with Rob. So that was the first time you ever did a long run of any kind. Now you were, to be fair, you were an athlete in high school.
I did enjoy running per se. I was good at it. Well, good is a relative term, but I
3 and 5Ks, you were unreal.
Yeah, that's where I would shine. Cross country, 3Ks, 5Ks.
You told me today, I didn't know this, but you were supposed to go on like Team Manitoba track, U of M.
Yeah, we started off and then I ended up going a different route there, different college.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know. Obviously I knew you were an athlete, but we're first cousins. I'm 2 years older than him. So his other two brothers ran first 2 days. They also did 2 legs.
Yes.
But they cheated because
they
took a day off in between.
Well, you had that 24 hours in between.
Yeah,
right?
they had terrible times. So last year you ran, do you remember what you did? Your time, 2:12 or something?
2:12 or something along those lines. Yeah, I did about, I kept up. I was aiming for a 2 hour.
That was the same day as Labby, Turan.
Correct.
Johnny Mox.
Correct.
Marco Sill.
We started off pretty good. A lot of wind. For a non-runner.
Tons of wind.
Walked up, another walk up.
That was a hard leg, actually.
And then I stuck with the U and Lavi for 2/3, I'd say. I think that's what
I recall too.
All of a sudden the wind, just ran out.
Ran out of gas.
I think it's ran out of fuel. The lungs felt good, but you kind of explained to me, it's not just that you run out of wind, it's just your body just can't.
Your body can't do it. Your body's never done that many miles and it just can't pump that long because it's not used to it. Everyone I ran with, they were dropping at 14, 15, 16 kilometers.
Yeah,
everyone.
That seems to be the trend regardless.
Yeah.
So.
If you haven't trained, that's the trend. That's what I've seen. That's what I've done. And now here you are sporting this unbelievable medal. So last year you did a 2:12 or something. I flew here on Friday to start my legs on Saturday. You called me Thursday
night.
One day before I was leaving, and asked me if I still needed bodies for today. I see that there's one that's not sold out. You said, can I go run it with you?
Yeah.
3 days away.
Yeah, well, that's a good time, right?
Now, the story starts a little further back, if I'm not mistaken, and you can tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But we were lucky enough to have you come to Boston with us.
I was lucky.
Or you were lucky. Okay. So Charlie and I ran Boston, which is like the holy grail of running. And we actually recorded an entire episode with Minigrains, my brother and I. But I was useless or stupid or I don't know what, but the sound didn't work. So I wasn't able to record the sound. But
you're 2 years older than me.
I should have, the technology was after me. But so we recorded this whole episode awesome episode.
Great
We were
episode.
crushing jokes, and then no sound. So that's a lost episode.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll hire a lip reader and just
Break it
subtitle the whole
There's
thing.
got to be an app.
Got to be doable, right? How was Boston? What was your take? And did it have any impact? Let's start with your take, and then I'll ask my question.
Impact, let's just say overall, Boston experience, just from the time you get there, the city, beautiful city, everything went smooth. You land right downtown, basically.
The airport drive is
it's short. Everything is close in Boston. You can walk around downtown. Everything was just fantastic. City clean. So first impressions, everything's top notch. We got to go check out just the finish line. We checked out the first night, and everything was beautiful. And then next day, what was it? The next day of the race? Yeah.
No, next day we went to Fenway Park.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, next day, we started with the bus tour.
There is so much going on.
We bumped into Louis Cormier, booked him on the podcast. Took
busy.
another bus tour, went to see that historical stretch, stopped at Cheers.
That's why we
went
brought
to
you,
Fenway Park, saw the Boston Red Sox game.
We upgraded our tickets.
Ended up getting front row right behind we saw strike him out for the last out in a very tight game. Joined Claude and Charlie for the Masters.
Yeah.
We watched the end of the Masters.
Just a great experience. Everything there about Boston was fantastic. Everything was good about it. Just beautiful city.
It was good. And then we ran Boston the next day.
Yeah,
Charlie had a great day. I had we'll call it an okay day.
And I had homework. Like I went out there.
You're busy.
Well, you wouldn't even understand.
Tell me about it.
You and Charlie only had one thing to do.
Just run miles.
Follow signs and run. That's it. That's it. Claude and I, responsible people, we had to deliver water bottle mile 17. Sounds easy, but it is a 45-minute tram all the way down on an overly packed tram.
Tell me about the tram.
Just people everywhere. As the doors open and there's bodies and elbows everywhere. As I said, well, we're not missing this tram, so elbows up
Let's
and you
go.
get in. Yeah. you snake your way in. So already it's hot in there, but made the trek. It's 45 minutes out, and now we're watching the live updates, and we know Charlie's ahead of you. And all of a sudden, we're not at our checkpoint yet, but his marking goes blank. And I even took a snapshot in case we did miss it.
You wanted to have your excuse ready.
I had my excuse because we didn't know. At one point, we didn't know where he was, anyways. Right. And
I think he might have cut some corners there and maybe skipped that part of the course.
I'm not even going to get into those details, but because that's exactly what it says. Either the runner has missed a checkpoint or has exited the race.
Whoa!
So it's pretty harsh.
I knew he hadn't exited the race, but I could tell that would have been possible.
Well, if you blow a tire or whatever, stuff happens.
Yeah, I guess.
Nonetheless.
Do you blow it out? What's
an ankle?
Ankle.
Something
a real
drastic,
on the spot injury.
Whatever
it is. Pop an Achilles or something.
Something happens,
fair enough.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, mile 17, and we're waiting. We don't really know. Cool story is I'm enjoying. There's people everywhere. Runners are 8 deep, and we're watching this. And 8 deep, and it's steady, like water down a river, just coming. So everyone looks the same. Everyone's got a bib and a hat. Everyone looks the same. And then, so I'm just randomly taking pictures over the fence.
Oh, just in case.
Just
to see what.
I don't know. I'm taking it in and just having fun. And next thing you know, Charlie's actually beside us. No word of a lie, he's beside us, and Claude, give me my bottle.
Because your job was to bring him.
He wanted a water bottle.
A water bottle.
He just wanted that.
Because there's not enough water on the course.
I'm not. He's a high performance athlete.
There was an aid station every 500 feet.
He wanted free access to water. Anyways, hey, the man had method, Rob.
No, he beat me by 25 minutes. So maybe I should have taken the water.
But I did appreciate you not taking that water. That was consumed pretty quickly on the tram back.
So Charlie's there.
Yeah, and so I look back in my photos, and I scroll back, and I actually caught a photo of him running. Because someone had warned me, you might not even see the guys running.
They're so wide. There's so many people.
There's so many people. He knew roughly where we're going to be.
Yeah, he giving you a direction.
Just a heads up, but yeah, he didn't give us a pin. It's more of be at mile 17. Well, mile 17.
It's a whole mile
It's
long.
a mile. Roughly. So, anyways, turns out I have a pretty good picture of him running, coming in. And then...
So he popped up. You guys didn't see him. He saw you?
I don't know if Claude was ready or not, because Charlie was very specific, like how we'd hand the bottle.
He wanted hold it like this. I remember him telling hold it like
we
this.
Practice. We took our job seriously. It's not a... exactly. He's doing the motion. Claude's doing the motion how he was trained. We practiced for hours. We stayed up extra late making sure we did the technique.
Is that why you stayed up extra late?
That's what we were doing in the lobby.
Okay.
Yeah, just to be clear.
So you guys stayed up extra late, tried some martinis. Yeah. Charlie and I went to bed. And then the next day, you give Charlie his water bottle. You had a second water bottle.
Yeah.
That was for me.
That would have been for you just in case.
That was for me.
Yeah.
So I swing by, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, whatever it was.
30.
No, I guess it would have been...
Sorry. No,
it would have been. I fell a lot towards you. It would probably been 15 minutes later.
Yeah, I think it was 15.
15 minutes later, and
20.
I didn't even see you guys.
Okay, so we yelled you.
Rob! And I was just like, what? And I look, and there you guys were. I was like, ah!
You stuck out. Well, we knew what you were going to be wearing. I think that was one disadvantage. We hadn't seen Charlie in the morning.
Oh, yeah, and
we didn't know what he was going to wear. We didn't know.
What color he was wearing. Yeah.
And
he loves this
that makes
white
a big
kind
difference.
Of tight shirt. Yeah. I was wearing my big maple leaf.
Yeah. And we knew we had seen a picture.
Well, Claude knew, or he had seen it.
We had seen the photo. Yeah.
So I hear Rob, and I look, and there they are, and I'm like, cool, Claude and Minigrains are here. Yeah. I just kind of moseyed on over.
You had time, you were.
Yeah, I wasn't breaking any line speed records that day. So I said, you guys doing good? I get to see you guys. You gave me the water, and I was like, I don't need this.
No, there's piles of
water. There's water everywhere. I don't need water.
Yeah.
So I just gave it back to you. Like, are you sure you don't want this water? I was like, no, you have it. And
then I yelled at you. Okay, then go. You got to finish your race.
Yeah, it's a race, Rob.
Rob, remember, it's a race.
So then that was 3 weeks ago. Today.
Okay, yeah.
3 weeks ago today. Today's Monday. Yeah, 3 weeks ago today. So
time flies.
Because you specifically said, I recorded you in that podcast. You specifically
said... Did you record that?
Yeah. I saw these guys run, and I was inspired not to do a marathon.
100%.
I was inspired not to do a marathon.
Yes. And like I said, I stick to that. Those are all high-performance athletes. They've been training for months, years. Some of them, they got in by the skin of their teeth. And they're
most of them just barely got in. A very tough day, and they're all dying and walking.
Not all, but you see, it hurts.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Yeah, they were battling. They were for sure battling.
I still stick. I did do a marathon today, but let's just say it hasn't changed my opinions on marathons.
Okay, I want to get into today. So, I am doing 2 legs per day. I've been doing both in the morning. I've been doing them back to back this morning. So this was day 3. So when Joe called me, I had someone scheduled for the morning leg or the afternoon leg, but not for the morning leg. Or
the morning versa. I was scheduled for 4
Joe was scheduled for the afternoon. Yeah. So the morning canceled last night. Literally last night. The morning. So I said, Joe, which one do you want to do tomorrow? And on the
heat and hot.
Yeah, you were like, well, maybe I'll do. And I thought, well, if you're only going to do one, I'd prefer you do the second one.
Correct. That's where
it's those are way harder for me. On a scale of 0 to 10, the morning one is a 1.5. The afternoon one's a 9.5. It's that much harder.
And that was the first conversation.
I said, if you're only going to do one, can you please do the second one? That's what I said. And then you said, which surprised me, but I'll tell you how I felt when you said, you know what? I think I'll do the first one. And I knew right away in the back of my head, I think he's going to try to do them both. I think this guy who's not run. Now I want to get into your training routine. But he ended up doing both. So he said, I think I want to do the first one. And I was like, okay, no problem. But it'd be easier for me if you do the second. My mom would have biked.
Of doing the bike, yeah.
Yeah, my mom would have biked. Or Joe said, I'll bike the second one if I can't bike, if I can't jog it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, I'll have someone to run with at least.
That was last night.
That was last night. Oh, okay, but this morning
This morning in the RV.
Was that this morning or last night? Either way, whatever. We talked about it.
Heat and hot on it all night.
So. And then you kind of decided, you know what? I'm going to run the morning one. So we started this morning at 7:45.
What happened?
8 a.m.
What happened was we started talking elevations.
Oh, that's what was this morning.
That's kind of what triggered it.
Yeah. So leg 5 had 111 meters of elevation, so 360 feet or something, which it's not nothing. It's a lot of elevation for Manitoba.
Yeah.
I'd call it a lot of elevation for any half marathon. But leg 6 was a riverbank trail that had 11 meters of elevation. So I showed you that, and I was like, the second one's pretty much a free one because it's given.
Yeah, it's basically downhill. It's
So,
almost a cheater. In
it's
the
a
words
cheater.
of Charlie,
It's almost a
it's
cheater.
almost a cheater.
But you ended up saying, you know what, I'll do the first one anyways.
Let's just start. Well, Claude inspired me. He's like, well, if you're gonna do one, might as well start with the tough one and then just see how you feel.
See how you feel.
Just see how you
And
feel.
then when you mentioned in the car, that was the first time you mentioned in the car this morning that there's a chance you might try them both.
Oh yeah.
I was like, there's a chance you might try them both. So let's go through your training program for this. I just want to make sure we're
like the whole program. Do
the
we have
entire
time?
program from start to finish. The training started at Boston Marathon where he went drinking with my dad one of the nights.
Hey, we were practicing technique.
Yeah, and Charlie and I
Slash.
were doing our discombobulation. What did you call it? Disentanglement. The
For the
disentanglement
legs. That's
jog.
where you get your legs pumped up a little.
Saturday
bit.
morning we were going out, so we went out at 8,
I
and
missed that one.
you're like, text me when you guys go. I want to join you.
Absolutely.
And I told my brother, he's not joining. Like, he was out. He's not. The last thing this guy wants is to come do a jog. He's not. He's being polite. Charlie's like, I think he wanted to join.
I did.
So then at like 8, so we did 3 miles, I think, maybe 4 miles. I don't remember. 3 miles. So we go and we come back, and literally as we get back, you text, where are you guys? Like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's joking. So we went up to your room, and you had I think you had your shoes on. You were getting ready to go.
Yeah, no, I was in my shorts.
And I had told Charlie, I said, if he really wants to go, I'll go with him a second time because I'm not going to break a record tomorrow. I knew I wasn't going to do a good time. I was like, I'll go jog with him a few miles, and you just rest.
That should keep him quiet, right?
Well, I was like, I don't think he actually wants to do it. But you actually did. So
well, we were in Rome.
We were in Rome. When you're in Rome, you do it. So you were in Boston. We came back at 8:30. We went out and did another two miles. We did 2 miles with Joe, there and back, 1 mile out. There were so many runners.
It's amazing. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Thousands and thousands of runners. There was this running group, 8 wide, 100 deep, like 1,000 people, and you couldn't cross. Just walking in unison. So that was your first training jog. You didn't know it.
Yeah.
That was the start of your training
program. Yeah, that
program.
was the start of the training program, involuntary. Yeah.
Okay, what was the next training run or anything that you did?
I ended up doing a few. I think the next one would have been...
that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then I was planning to do...
The plannings don't count. Well, or fine, yeah, I planned to...
No, you're right, sorry. So I ended up doing a 20 minutes out, 20 minutes back. I wanted to hit...
40-minute jog?
I wanted to hit 4 miles.
Okay.
And I missed it by 30 seconds going out on my 2 miles out.
Yeah.
And I missed it by 30 seconds on my 2 miles back.
Yeah, so you did 10:15s.
Yeah.
So, that's the pace you did your first leg today.
Okay, yeah.
The entire thing. Okay, so you did 4 miles, then...
And then after that, then I did, I was planning on doing a 19K with a friend.
It didn't happen. There was a fire. He's a fire chief.
Yeah.
Fire chief for the Woodridge Fire Department.
So we got out 1.8 kilometers.
And then you phoned in a fire call?
Fire call, so we ran back.
But you phoned it in, so you didn't have to run?
yeah. I wish. No, because we ended up running back.
Did you save the house or the barn or whatever?
We did. Everything was saved, yeah.
Nice.
So it's
Nice work.
worthwhile, yeah.
I do appreciate you volunteering and doing this out of the kindness of his heart. So you
finished the fire call, and then we went out and did a quick 5K, I believe.
Okay, so you did 4 miles, then you did 5K.
Yeah. And then after that, I did a little bit of cycling at home.
Okay, cycling.
I started with 40 minutes, 60 minutes, then 80 minutes, 85 minutes.
3 cycles?
The 3 cycles.
Bit of cardio, so that counts.
And then last weekend, Sunday, you did yours with Paul.
Yeah, I ran with his brother Paul. I talked about it on the last episode. And then Paul went out. That was 2 weekends ago.
Sorry, yeah. 2 weekends ago, you did that. That's the same time I did my...
Yeah, the next weekend... Yeah. You did
a
18K?
19.1K.
So he sends me a video and he's like, hey, just finishing 19K. And I replied, ha.
We're starting mile 1, yeah.
What did you do? Your first mile? And he goes, no, I actually did 19K today. And I was like, wow, that's... And I was like, why is he running 19K? I was so confused because I was like, what? Like, I know you can run. I know you're a phenomenal athlete, but like, it just really was weird to me. It was so weird to me. I was like, he's coming to run in New Brunswick, but you had told me in Boston because of the seeding. He's a farmer, and you can't. It's seeding time right now, and you can't. I learned about seeding today on the jog. We talked about seeding. Time. I said we can't both be gone. Me and Paul, my brother. Important call, Hollywood.
I'll pass it for now.
You'll pass it. It's
I'll
not
pass,
that important. Okay, thank you, Joe. Are you gonna have a sip of your drink?
I am.
Okay,
It's almost
okay.
out. I might have to go mix another one.
Okay, so I'm like, why is he running 19K? And sure enough, I was like, is he thinking of doing it? But no, he said he couldn't. So
No.
basically, you were running 19K with your brother to help him, I guess.
He was
'Cause
training.
Paul had decided he was
Paul
going to do
knew
it.
he was coming.
But he hadn't booked his flight yet. Or he just had booked it. Yeah, he just had booked it.
And he had a feeling he had to do a second leg as well there.
Yeah, I kind of hinted that I might ask him to do
Well,
a
that's
second.
exactly what he said. Rob kind of hinted that I probably will do too.
What I initially told Paul is, why don't you come and your brother come and you guys split a third leg?
Yeah.
So you do one each, one day, and
But
then
they're
the
not
next day.
competitive at all, right?
And the next day, you guys each do 10K, or maybe just Paul does one and Frank doesn't do one. And then I knew that was gonna get
Yeah,
Frank going.
that
So they ended up both doing a leg. Okay, so I want to talk about today now. So now you've done 2 miles in Boston. You did 4 miles. You did a 5K. Then you did a 19K.
Yeah.
So 4 jogs. So it's a little bit more than. I mean, it's whatever. It's like 30 kilometers of training.
That's a lot.
I guess in 3 weeks
Over a year.
for a marathon, not bad. And then this morning we go and you kind of told me the pace. You're like, I think I want to do like 10-minute miles or something like that. Just maybe just 10 or just over.
2:15, like a total
2:15, and we ended up coming in right at 10-minute, exactly on the nose, 2:12, 2:12 something. So exactly 10-minute. How did the morning leg feel
Actually, that one felt really good.
compared to the second
Well,
one?
the second one was a little longer. I think the miles were stretched on the second one, but no, the morning one felt great. Overall, I knew I had a knee injury a few days or 2 days ago. Just bumped my knee pretty hard, and I knew I could feel it. Whatever, rested it last night. I could feel it throbbing last night, but overall, the morning. That's usually where my first sore spot is my knee. That started last year at last year's half.
Yeah.
And
So that's like it's not an
inside the
ACL
joint.
thing, or is it?
Inside the joint, I
Okay.
think. Just the joint. I don't know. Anyways, and the morning, well, I was telling you about that. It felt better if I ran with the left on the crown.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And anyways, maybe it's psychological. I don't know. It felt like there was less pressure on the knee, maybe the way the foot sits. And I felt great on the first one. We finished it, and
Should Chloe go get you another drink, maybe?
am I talking?
No,
enough?
you're doing great. I want to make sure you get a drink or a beer. I don't know.
No, I don't think he can mix them right just yet. I haven't trained him.
Okay.
We'll need another. Maybe. Which marathon can I train you at? No, okay.
We have some races coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get him trained yet.
Okay. So you were running basically on the shoulder.
Yeah.
For most of it.
Yeah.
How did you find the trail versus road? So the first days there were some trail, some road. Today was all trail.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. You know what? I enjoyed the trail personally way better than our roads at home.
Yeah.
So the tight gravel. So quite honestly, there were some rocks, there were some water holes, which I told you I didn't want to get hurt, so I took it easy around water holes. I would actually slow
quite
down.
a few water holes. I would say a lot of water holes.
Yeah,
that would have been
guess
tough
so.
to bike, actually. Well, I guess you go around, but
go right down center, but yeah.
But there was
there
also
wasn't even centers. Yeah.
I thought it was more spongy than, so I thought it took more effort today than.
Oh, yeah.
Than, yeah. So it's not like you're not running on road.
I'm
on
used
concrete.
to really bad roads, I guess.
But like concrete is bad for the knees,
Fair enough.
but spongy is better for the knees and joints, but more
energy,
effort.
More energy.
Yeah. So anyways, you probably preferred the trail today because you're.
So I felt it. I felt my knee act up at about 2/3 in. I'd say, like I was expecting it sooner, but 2/3 in, I'd say my knee kind of chimed in
of the first leg.
of the first leg,
First
yeah.
half marathon.
And then it went away, and then we finished, and life was good.
Okay, so we finish 2:12. Feel free to go, Claude. Don't worry about it. That's my dad right here.
Here you go. Oh yeah.
Then we get into the RV, and then had you told me already that you were doing half the second one? You kind of hinted
I
at
think
it
I hinted.
at
I
some
said
point.
I was ready for the next one,
Yeah.
basically.
And then I'm like, hey, he's gonna run the half. I
he
think.
just might. Yeah,
So
yeah.
then we finish. We go in the RV, change socks, change shoes, basically, and get right back out there. Like
Well, I didn't bring extra socks.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't plan that for.
yeah, because you thought you were
Well,
only
I was
doing
just
one.
Well, yeah.
But I think we took a total of 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
20-minute break. Get the heart rate down a little bit.
Eat a little bit more.
Eat a little bit. Yeah, we loaded up on whatever nuts, not
Granolas.
nuts, more like
the ones that are
granolas,
tough
carbs.
the ones that are tough to eat on the trail.
Yeah,
That's one thing I discovered.
Some easy
Granola bars
carbs.
just don't go well down. They're too dry, too mush.
yeah. And then we started that second leg. And that second leg, I told you, I said, you know what, this will have to be run walk for sure from the start. But I think you're like, well, I'm just gonna go and we'll play it by ear. You didn't want to do like a run walk. You didn't want to do. You're just like, I want to play it by ear.
Let's play it by ear. Let's not.
I think you jogged the first 5K, 6K.
I think so.
And then you're like, okay, well, we gotta walk some.
Yeah. Well, my knee flared up right away.
Knee was flaring up. Those were long miles.
That's my story. That's gonna be my.
No, but I mean, dude, you did a marathon today. Ended up walking a little bit, running a little bit. I'd say a great time for someone who's never run one. You finished with, I think, a 2:40 or something like that. Yeah. 2:12 on the first one, 2:40 on the second one, back to back with 30 kilometers of training on a windy day in our face. We had wind right in our face on the banks of the St. John River. How did the second one go, you think? The last 15K?
Definitely a lot tougher.
Yeah, you were battling.
And then there was more asphalt, so I guess that argument to be said, that harder, more impact. Lungs felt great the whole time. Like it was. Yeah,
cardio wasn't an issue for sure.
Never the lungs. It was the leg and just the one side. We'd stop, maybe take a break, like a quick piss break, and then
it's hard to get going.
Then
I actually felt it too. Like the stopping and starting.
The legs, like it took 10 steps, I'd say, and then you get in your rhythm there. But it definitely, every time was definitely noticeable.
It's pretty cool to have the support, of my aunt and uncle and Claude. And
amazing, that was always looking forward to the vests. Like I called them the vests there, but
because they were running the aid station. So the way we do it is they go out in front or behind with the motorhome in the car, and we get aid stations every mile almost.
And they're always fun to see. Like you don't know where they're going to be, but all of a sudden
they pop out with some Gatorade, and then they got some water, some gels.
And that's one thing I learned from last year. I told you that before we started. I think
you need gels.
Under nutrition.
Yeah, people have no clue. Even Charlie, I remember when we started recording this show.
I don't need this.
I don't need gels. It's for losers. When he did his Tucson Marathon, the first time he broke 4, after he started jogging again, he took 0 gels. He used to not believe in water on marathons. And I was like, Charlie, like you have to drink water during a marathon.
It's okay.
So I know, I get it. Most people are new. They don't like gels. That's for pros. I don't need that. But there's a little bit of caffeine. There's a ton of calories. And there's that sugar kind of rush that your body needs. And you just immediate energy. Yeah. And you feel it right away.
Well, it's there. And that's one thing that I didn't take any gels. I didn't know. I have a peanut allergy, so that made it complicated at the aid stations. A lot of unknowns when you're it's a race, so you're not reading labels.
How many gels do you think you had today?
Probably 8.
Yeah, so I think that's a
and I think that was that was my game plan was to just consume gels. Like I was stuffed. I definitely was stuffed.
Yeah, you passed towards the end there. You had enough. I think.
Finally, But
that's okay. Like that's good.
Yeah. That's where maybe
we had slowed down.
I think I overwatered too at one point.
Okay too, right? Unless you get a cramp or you feel bloated. Like
there were no cramps. Definitely no stomach cramps. No cardio issue. It was all in the knee. Like
it was just. I thought it was a great day.
It was fun. Like I guess once it's all over, you can call it fun because you're done. Miserable? No, it wasn't miserable.
Were there parts there where you would you just said get me out of here for whatever, just get me out of here? I know you were finishing. I know you were finishing, and I know you personally. So
there was one ravine that looked tempting at one point.
Take a jump.
Just the bridge looked the railing looked pretty short and incidental, but no, I'm kidding. No, it was not at 0 point. As soon as I took my first step, I said, well, I'm finishing this.
Yeah, because I remember Uncle Mo's at mile, 7 or 8. He's like, Joe, take the bike for the last 5 miles.
We got to get the breakfast.
He's not taking the bike, okay? He's not taking the bike.
I told him he could sell the bike.
Yeah, sell the bike. The Rob Tatro line about the Ironman. Keep my bike. I don't need it.
I'm done. I don't need it anymore.
So you did 2 half marathons today. You did a marathon for the first time. Remarkable achievement, and obviously you're beat, but how do you feel
overall? No, it was a lot of fun. It's a story. It's on my checkbox. It's
definitely a story. You flew in 14 hours of travel.
Not like I flew across
ran a marathon
Canada.
And flew back. Tomorrow he's flying back
across Canada.
Tomorrow we get to cheer on 2 of my colleagues from Canaccord that are coming over. Before we wrap this up, Joe, I want to ask you, so this is a podcast for Charlie and myself. I want to ask you, you grew up with us. We used to go spend a week at the farm, and you used to come spend a week sometimes at the hotel where we lived or at the Blue House. And we spend a lot of times in the summers and the winters, Christmas, every holiday. We spend a ton of time together. He was in my wedding party, at my wedding. What's this? Give me one story you remember of me and Charlie that the viewers might want to hear.
From youth. I love it.
Or
so
later
let's talk
youth,
about,
or I don't know.
We did like to make a lot of home videos.
Yeah.
Rabies Man would have been one
Rabies
of them.
Man was
Rabies
good,
Man
yeah.
2.
Rabies Man 2, yeah.
Man 3.
7 Ways to Die, was that with you guys?
No, that would have been the Zagan family.
Okay. We did the movie 7 with Brad Pitt there. We did it before he did it.
He didn't even know? Yeah.
No, we did it before
well, I think
him.
they stole the script.
Well, I mean, whatever.
And
We had that movie. Toilet plunger on the Tricat. Rabies Man 2. Yeah. I remember in one of the movies, you guys made me drink.
We made you drink?
Well, you told me that it was like raspberries or something.
Oh, no, I wasn't involved in that movie. That
Who
wasn't
made
me.
that? Grace?
The Cossatate.
No, when I drank the cow's blood.
They put it all over you.
Or
You didn't drink it. They just doused you in blood.
No, I drank it. I took a sip from it. The bucket.
Well, like I said,
no,
that
it's the grossest thing ever. Right? But they didn't tell me this till years
well,
after.
They don't tell you everything.
I know.
No, it's.
But yeah,
I think you remember when we did. It was a go-kart video, but when you hit the maple tree in the front yard, that might have been your first concussion.
At your place?
Yeah, the big maple tree, and the
Yeah,
go-kart got away on us. It was supposed to be a slow go-kart hitting the slow motion, and then you smashed with the
full speed.
Full speed.
Yeah.
Smashed the handlebar. Your nose was bleeding.
There was a lot of those.
This guy does his own stunts.
Oh, those were fun times. It's good to have you out here, Joe. I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for being a part of this. Guys, this is part of our series on the episodes I'll be hosting from Run with Rob. I'm trying to have a different guest on every day or two to try to bring you kind of what it's like from here. Today, this guy ran his first marathon, so that's pretty special. I thought we'd get him on the show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like us and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. I will see you in the next video.